The Truth, Errol Spence, in a dope interview, he gets personal and talks about how he has PTSD every time he gets behind the wheel, and there's certain things that he can't do when he's driving. Before we get into this next video, make sure that you hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. What's happening with y'all? Like myself, I know a lot of people be wondering, man, all the things that Errol Spence went through with the car wreck, then having another car wreck, and he even had a car wreck right after the first car wreck that a lot of people really don't even know about. But he's had 3 or 4 car wrecks, and a lot of people wonder, like, does that bother him? You know what I'm saying? Every time he get behind the wheel, when he driving with his kids, when he driving along, whatever it may be, do that bother him? You know, people be thinking like we know that has to bother him getting behind the wheel. I ain't been through half of the shit that he been through behind the wheel, but I still have PTSD from certain things that happened to me in little car wrecks. Every time it's a green light and I'm going through an intersection, I get kind of nervous, you know what I'm saying? It's something that I can't help. Every time I'm stopped at a red light, I get nervous thinking somebody just gonna slam into me from behind because it's happened. So I always felt that, you know, I want to do all them things bother EJ, you know what I'm saying? Because he's been through life-threatening car wrecks. And he talked about all of that, man, in this new interview that he did on the Pivot podcast. It's a dope interview, you know what I'm saying? You could tell that if EJ mess with you while he doing the interview, he gonna open up and his attitude gonna be totally different towards you. A lot of these interviews that I see EJ doing, man, you can tell he ain't really in it, you know what I'm saying? He just doing it because it's an obligation that he have to do, and he kind of had that attitude like, man, I can't wait till this shit over. I'm sick of asking these same questions. I don't want to talk about the same questions that y'all keep asking me. But man, in this interview that he just did, man, he was comfortable. He was feeling the interview, and they wasn't just asking him the same questions that we hear over and over. And another thing that he talked about before we get into, I'm going to play y'all the audio. I'm going to let y'all hear exactly what he said about him basically having PTSD every time he get behind the wheel. But before we get into that, man, he talked about a lot. One thing that he talked about is a lot of people talk about, oh man, he's a drunk and he drink a lot and he like to party. And he talked about that. And you know, man, EJ, he a real ass dude because he don't try to hide nothing. He don't try to cover up nothing. But when a man can talk about, you know, the vices that they once had, that's when you know that they passed all of that a lot of times, you know. And he said, look, man, you know, I was still doing a lot of that stuff after the car wreck, but it became a point to where I had to realize who I was doing it for. I'm out here wilding and acting a fool. That ain't helping my family. That ain't helping my kids. And he said, so now you know how I stay focused the whole time while I was trying to get this Terrence Crawford fight, and he ran off and he fought. I've been sneezing and I still didn't have no fight on the table. They asked him, how did you stay focused through all of that? And he said, man, I just stayed at home with my kids and my girl. I looked at everything and I realized that when I'm with my girl and my kids, I don't get in no trouble. I don't be getting in no shit. It's when I'm out with my partners wilding out, that's when I'm in trouble. That's when I get into shit, when I'm out with my partners. So I just realized, man, I had to scale back from all of that. And he says another thing, man, the drinking and all that, he said, man, it take me 3-4 days to recover. And I'm laughing because that's when I stopped drinking and stuff. Like, I was never a heavy drinker, but you know, hey, I used to go out and party and drink. But now, I don't even do that when I go out like that. You know, I might have a drink or two, but other than that, I can't do it because I realize, man, it take me 3-4 days to recover. And I'm laughing at EJ because I'm a lot older than he is, but he get it, you know. He like, man, it take me too long to recover, and that shit ain't cool, you know. I might need to get up and go work out the next day, and I can't do it because I'm laying in the bed trying to recover. So yeah, man, he let everybody know he don't do none of that no more. And I have been telling everybody that, man, like, he don't do none of that no more. You can tell. He be with his kids, he be with his girl every time you see him. So man, he just matured, you know. It came a point in his life to where, you know, he put all that stuff behind him and he solely focused on his craft. That's why I say, hey, He a totally different fighter now, man. He dangerous. And it's finna go down on July the 29th. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna play y'all the audio and let y'all hear what he had to say about the situation, you know, him having PTSD every time he get behind the wheel. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna cook on it.
Right after my car crash.
We talked about it, bruh. Get a motherfucking driver. Like, let's talk real. You know, we done sat down. That's our second time sitting down, bro. Your ass can't drive. Your ass do not need to grab a wheel the rest of your life. Like, get a driver.
On the core, I do need to get a driver because to this day, I'm still like I get nervous. And it's the fact that I'm so brave that I drive. Like, I don't be tripping. But I don't know if it's stupidity or what, but I be nervous as hell. Like, even when I'm at the red light, like, I just envision, like, a car coming and crashing into me. Or when I'm driving, like, I envision, like, I gotta stay in the middle. Like, I can't drive, like, by the wall or nothing because I just envision somebody hitting me or something like that. Or if I'm driving past a four-way lane, like, I just envision somebody or like running the light and hitting me. So it be things like that. I definitely do need to get a driver.
I drive for you.
Hey, after this, he gonna have enough to pay us all to drive.
So there y'all heard it, man. Yeah, that's some real shit, man. You know that he got to deal with that every time he get behind the wheel, especially when he hit that freeway. You know what I'm talking about? When he get on that highway. He thinking about that, you know? Like he said, he can't drive on the end lane by the wall because he thinking somebody gonna crash into him and he gonna crash into the wall. And me, myself, you know, speaking of myself, because I can relate to what he talking about, I can't drive by no semi. If I get by a semi, or especially two semis, I'm speeding past them mugs. I can't be by no semi because I didn't see too many accidents with semis slamming into a car. And you in the car, you ain't gonna survive. That semi gonna be all right. You know what I'm talking about? So I feel what he talking about. They had me weak because they like, man, after this blood fight, you gonna have enough money to have a personal driver. You ain't gonna need to get behind the wheel ever again. And that's some real shit, man, because them boys about to get paid. And Errol Spence talked about how they gonna get paid a lot and how if they had a fault 5 years ago, they wouldn't have got paid half of what they getting paid now. So the business is right. He also talked about, man, basically, he said pretty much he gave Terrence Crawford a 50-50 split. He said it took him a long time to work that out, but he was like, man, give him it. Just give him whatever he asking for, just give it to him. So EJ made this fight happen. So anybody listening, all you Bud Crawford fans listening and running around talking about, man, Bud this and Bud that, we wouldn't have this fight if it wasn't Errol Spence. Bud was asking for outrageous shit and Errol Spence wanted to fight so bad, he was just like, man, give him whatever he want. You know what I'm talking about? If he want to be on the even playing field, even though he don't deserve it, he can have everything even to me. You know what I'm saying? They even flipping the coin to see who comes out to the ring last. What type of shit is that? But hey, man, EJ a real one, you know? I tip my hat off to him because he done dealt with a lot. Coming off a 16-month layout, he don't give a damn. He finna punish Bud Crawford. I'm telling y'all, listen to what I'm saying. He is going to punish Terrence Bud Crawford come July the 29th. Bud gonna get everything he deserves. Yeah, he gonna get everything he deserves. So all of that pay, whether he getting 50-50 or whatever it is close to 50-50, it ain't. Yeah, he gonna earn that shit because he gonna earn an ass whooping. You know what I'm talking about? That's exactly what he did. He earned the ass whooping. But EJ going through all of these things that he's had to go through just shows how resilient he is and just shows what type of dog that Bud Crawford is going to be dealing with come July the 29th. Y'all make sure that y'all hit my like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about all this. Have y'all went through some things like this that make y'all have PTSD? Let me know in the comments. Make sure, like I said, hit the like button, sub, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.